Did I seriously not hit record? Is that actually a thing I just did? Hi everyone, my name's Spencer and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be setting up my April bullet journal spreads. I decided this month to keep things really simple. My theme for this month would be blue skies and clouds. Just something really simple and easy to replicate if any of you wanted to try it, but also something that just makes me smile. In total, I'm only using 4 pens, and I'll show you those as we go along. I'm using 3 different shades of blue and the lightest white grey tombow dual brush pen that I own. I really love when we get the signs of moving out of winter and into spring and summer, because I am a spring and summer baby. I do not deal well with the cold and dark months. I'm really looking forward to having a bullet journal spread that makes me smile when I look at it, and reminds me of things in nature that just make me happy. I'm starting off by writing April in the middle of the page in the darkest blue that I'm using, and then I'm using that very light grey tombow pen to draw in the clouds. The thing I really like about all of the pens that I'm using this time, but particularly the tombow one, is that I can layer it. So the first time you put it down, it can almost be like using a white pen. It's barely there, but you can layer it and create different shapes, and I really enjoyed doing that with the clouds that I drew, so I could have different parts, lighter and darker, but using the same pen, so it was all tonally the same. I literally just used a sketch reference that I found on Pinterest to draw the clouds. It had various different ones on it, so I will link that in the description box for you if you want to use it for your own spread. The next thing I did was use the lightest colour blue that I'm using in this spread, which is a very pale blue grey, and I'm just colouring in the whole page with this blue colour, and I'm making sure to do all of my lines running from top to bottom, because with these hobbycraft pens, along with the tombow, they also layer quite easily, so when you put one stroke down and then do another one and it maybe touches it, you can see where they overlap, which normally can be quite frustrating, but for this setup I actually quite liked it, because if I was colouring in vertically, it kind of looked like raindrops. It kind of reminded me of the whole April showers thing, so I decided to embrace it and go with it, and I used that to colour in the whole page. On the other page, I'm doing the usual thing and writing a quote. For this page, I drew a bunch of clouds sort of clustered together and used the same pen that I did the outlines of, so that it just kind of looked like part of it. I didn't want it to stand out too much, and it made sense that if there were words in the cloud, they'd be the same colour as the cloud. I did write the second part of the quote in the mid-tone blue that I'm using, just so it looked a little different, and as it was written in the sky, not in the clouds, it made sense to write that in blue. This quote actually comes from my oracle deck that was a birthday gift this year. It's incredibly brutal, but I absolutely love it because of that. And the quote is, "Get the fuck out of your head, get in your heart, it misses you." And I have been very much in my head recently, so to pull this card on the day that I was sketching the pages, I decided that that would be what the quote was for this month. I quite like my cover and quote pages to be really bold, so that when I'm flicking through my bullet journal, it's really easy to see where the new months start if I've got to go back and check something from my previous month. Also, does this setup give anyone else Windows 98 startup vibes, because it absolutely does for me. The next spread is my monthly overview spread. This one I'm doing a little bit differently this month, in that I'm going to be using the calendar in my phone to record everything that should be happening so that I can set alarms to remind myself. But in my bullet journal, I'm going to use it a record of things that actually happened. So if I've got a call scheduled but it gets moved to a different week or something, I won't mark that down on when it should have happened in my bullet journal, but when it actually happened, so that when I'm looking back, I've got a much more accurate record of when things happened. For this monthly spread, I created a calendar month shape, and I coloured the heading part in with the mid-tone blue that I've got in this colour palette. I used the fine liner side of that mid-tone blue to draw the lines of the calendar, and the brush end to colour in the headings. And then I used the darker blue to write out the headings. I then went in with that light tombow pen to draw some clouds around the space, but I didn't colour in the background this time. I wanted this page to look different and to not be too Andy's wallpaper in Toy Story. I also used the tombow pen to create a monthly to-do list down the side of the page. So I drew a cloud at the top and wrote to do in it, and used the brush pen to draw the outline of the box, but then I wrote the actual tasks in that mid-tone blue again. The next spread is my habit and pain and mood trackers. These I'm setting up pretty much the same way that I have been doing for most of the year, by creating 2 horizontal boxes to use as like a check sheet. My camera cut out in the middle of recording this, so I don't have the full setup to show you, but if you go back to my January or February videos, Both of those have the same type of tracker in them, just there's maybe some different habits or the sizing is slightly different. So I set these trackers up in a similar way to the calendar, in that I created that banner along the top, which is where I then go in and write the dates in that darkest blue that I have. And I also coloured in the column that's got all of the habits, so that is also in the mid-tone blue. I decided that I wanted these to look a little bit bolder though, so I used the brush pen to do all of the external lines as well. The mood box is actually done in that palest blue again, so I left the background white, but I did colour in the clouds this time using that light tombow brush. Let's try this again. My camera decided to not record the second half of the video that I made yesterday, so we are back here and I'm going to show you what I did for my weekly spread. So, this is how I set up the page. Because April starts on like midweek on a Thursday, I decided to do a Dutch door for this first weekly spread. So I put my mini calendar up in the corner and highlighted the days that were on this spread. I used this space to write out my ideal day and how I would like to spend different parts of the day. And then I created a Dutch door. So I have Thursday and Friday here, Saturday and Sunday here. And this way, the to-do list for the rest of the week is always visible no matter what page I'm looking at. But obviously, my phone did not record the setting up of this. And I don't know about you, but for me, my favourite part of bullet journal spreads is actually watching them get made or drawn. So, originally I was only going to do a Dutch door for this week because of it being 4 days. And Dutch doors take up quite a bit of, quite a lot of pages. So, I didn't want to be doing loads of them in my journal, but I decided that I would set up another Dutch door for the second week of April and show you guys how I did that. So this will have Monday here, Tuesday here, Wednesday, Thursday, and then I'll do Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then on these pages, because this one will be a full spread, the to-do list is here. And then on this part, which will be the Dutch door of Tuesday and Wednesday, I've got the to-do list here. So yeah, I'm gonna start drawing these pages in so they look as pretty as these pages. Let's go. Did I seriously not hit record? Is that actually a thing I just did? Let's try again, shall we? Mini calendar, ideal day. Monday will be here, Tuesday will be here. So ignoring that little hiccup, this is how I set up my weekly spread. I used the darkest blue to write out the days of the week and the mid-tone blue to write out the sort of subheadings. So the ideal day is written out in that mid-tone blue, as is to do. The mini calendar, however, is written in the darkest blue. I drew the outside of the boxes using the lightest blue again, and I wrote each date inside a cloud in the same way that I'd done the quote page. So I used that tombow pen and just layered it more to make the numbers show up more than the outline of the cloud. Honestly, cutting my bullet journal pages was initially absolutely terrifying, but I got over that pretty quickly. I just freehand tried to cut the corners. I don't have any fancy tools to do that for me, so I just winged it, and I don't think it looks too bad. When I was drawing out these boxes, I actually used the piece that I'd cut off of the previous Dutch door to sketch out the rounded corners so they would all be roughly the same. So, you know, there's a little trick if you want to try this yourself. And here you go, here's the final flip through. We have the cover and quote page, my monthly overview page, my tracker page with a habit tracker and a pain and mood tracker, and my first 2 weekly spreads. I hope you enjoyed the video, friends. If you liked the video, feel free to give it a like, and if you're new here and feel like sticking around, hit that subscribe button so we can hang out some more. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!